Hello and welcome back to the channel, and I've stumbled on something that is truly magnificent. I'm in a woodland. First off, there is a road at the very top of it, but it quickly the woodland descends down into a valley and you disappear from all roads. But it's full of all kinds of mining works. Now, there are associated dangers if you're in and around mining areas, and don't take it lightly. If you see a sign saying mine shaft, stay away. Believe you me, there's been enough accidents over the years with mine shafts. But yeah, I'm going to take you along with me for this little bit of an explore. I'm obviously here doing a bit of a recce for possibly a wild camp, but in any case, I'm here for a pleasant little walk. It's end of the day, very hot and humid. And yeah, not the best walking conditions considering this is a valley and it's going to be all downhill, then all uphill. But let's get to it. So obviously you can see that chimney stack behind me there, and it is humongous. And you've got to wonder how it stayed up for so long. It's got to be testament to the workmanship. But yeah, it's still in one piece. A lot of them around here are only half the size where they've collapsed. But let's go into the engine house now. And we're inside here. You can see there's some fencing that's been put up, and don't try to climb over it. You could be asking for more than you bargained for. This one here is still together, but the ivy that's on it now will actually pull it apart soon. But that's what happens with these kind of old buildings that get left and forgotten about. I should imagine it's a listed building though. Right, I've got a pathway. I've actually brought my bushwhacker hiking stick with me because, as you can see, I'm probably going to have to be doing some bushwhacking. I shouldn't imagine this trail gets walked too much, but it's pretty impressive the amount of mine working buildings that are still here. That is just impenetrable. You just don't want to have to bushwhack through that. And I would hate to think what's underneath all that. You could be disappearing down a big hole. So I'm sticking to the path for this one. There's a lot of different little tracks here, and to be honest with you, I'm just going to be making it up as I go along. I have looked on a map and there are some footpaths nearby, but these particular tracks aren't actually part of them. I think they're permissive tracks which allows you to join up with the footpath. But it's looking like we've come right into a woodland here, and it is dead quiet and still. Now on the map it does actually state there is an old tramway in here, there's air shafts, and on top of that disused mine workings as well. And I can see a building just in front of me, totally encased. It's been taken back to nature. But the woodland here that I'm going down into now is native. Obviously it wouldn't have been here when this mine was being worked. This has all come up, afterwards. But it is native, and there are patches that are opening up. So, I'm already thinking, are there possibilities? But there is evidence that this is a dog walking track. So, will I be able to get away from the line of sight? I don't know. But, yeah, fascinating history with this place. And I'll brief you on a little bit of that later on. You might just be able to make out some walls there, but as you can see, it's been totally reclaimed by nature. There's walls up there, one here. You can see a doorway or an entrance somewhere around there. And then the wall going along further along there. And in fact, it's all the way along there. So this is what I'm seeing in front of me. And yeah, it really would be a nice wild camping spot, but I don't know how heavily trafficked it is. There are properties nearby, but the nearest village is possibly, you know, an easy walking distance to it. And I don't see any reason why somebody wouldn't like to come and walk their dogs in here if they have access to it to do so, which, oh, look at this. I've just dropped down a little bank and you can see another man-made wall. An historic wheel, rim and tyre, no doubt. But yeah, you can see the brickwork or stonework, and you can see it's the tree roots that have done the damage. They've pushed it all down, and here it is all on the floor. And I've spotted the first evidence that I needed to see, and I'll let you have a look at that yet again. And it tells me this woodland, or this part of the woodland, is well used, and why not? But I'm hoping there are deeper, darker available spaces to me well within the woodland. But this is quite near the entrance, but I'll let you see what I'm looking at, and you can make up your own mind. Well, as you can see by this old disused building, and it's an engine house, you can actually see the remnants of somebody's bushcraft shelter. So somebody's coming in and out of here, and this, it looks like the work of kids. So, you know, you'd want to be well away from this particular area, if for no other reason that you don't want to be disturbed. So yeah, that building there, I wouldn't really want to be sleeping underneath that. These buildings do have a habit of, particularly in winds and when those branches up there are moving, they will knock off the odd stone, and I can see one or two that are just ripe to fall off. Right, we'll go in, just have a quick look. We're here. I will be coming back to do a further bit of exploration, but I'd be a little bit concerned if my kids were in and amongst all this. But yeah, if you can see what I mean, the branches rub against all the top stonework, and occasionally you lose a piece of stone. Now I have a choice to follow through this way, which obviously would be easier going because it's level, or down there where you can actually see the path forks off into two. I can actually just feel the odd little bit of rain, so I don't know if we're due a thunderstorm. I did actually pack a waterproof top. There's a track going off down there and a track there. I know I've got to be going downhill. Both of those look to be going downhill, but I need to be hitting an old tramway to link up with a footpath. Otherwise, I'm going to be aimlessly walking around in what I can only see is very thick brush and thick woodland. We'll see. I mean, I'm here. I've got a little bit of time. I don't have endless time tonight. This was a very quick thrown together recce, but let's see what we find. Well, it is raining. Those clouds did tell me it was possibly going to, and it has opened up. It's not full rain. It's that summer sprinkling of warm water just trickling down the leaves and landing on you. I don't think I need to get waterproofs out yet. But I've changed my mind. I think I'm going to take this track. Well, I've stumbled upon a slag heap of old workings, and you know, nothing's growing on it. It's just this reddy kind of gravelly sort of like mixture of stuff, and it's looking like there's a massive slag heap over there. I'm just going to see if this path comes around to it, but I really want to find that tramway because that is my golden ticket to get further down and link up with a footpath that follows a complete river. But you know, I think it's just one of those things. I don't have time to do a full investigation tonight, but even if I get so far, that will kill time next time I come back here. But let's go and find out, see if what I'm looking at is, if you might be able to see just orange through the trees. Let's go and see if that's a giant slag heap. This is getting frustrating because you can see there's trackways that branch off every 100 meters into new trackways. They are heading down, but I don't know if I'm heading too far to the left now, or whether I've lost my bearings and I should be heading right. Like I said, all these tracks aren't on maps. They are quite simply, as you can see, just made over time. Yeah, so you'll have to bear with me, because if I look like I'm getting frustrated, it's because I'm here actually trying to navigate this with no real info, as in maps or anything like that. Well, I'm at the bottom of a slag heap, and yeah, you can see the industrial waste all around me. You can see the artistic flair of somebody who's been here before me. There you go. Never let it be said that Cornwall has no artists. I'm just walking down to another one of those stone little piles. You know, 10 out of 10 for effort. There you go. Another one there. But I'm going to try and get to the top of this slag heap here. It is quite steep and loose, and see what it's like on the plateau up there. And in the interests and, you know, of entertainment, I'll just take you along with me. The trouble is, it's all kind of loose, and it doesn't look very far, but I don't want to slip over because it is a kind of granite. And you can see where how loose it is. Even the vegetation hasn't been able to get a purchase and get a grip, because as soon as it rains, it all washes downhill. But this is all mining slag. I'm nearly at the top. I'll probably have to come down on my ass up here. And here we are. Let me get this last bit here. Up here we are. Yeah, there we are. Whew. There, you can see those little towers down there. And here you go. And you can see where all the rainwater has been making channels in it. I'm wasting time here actually. I do need to be on these tracks to get where I want to go. But look at Dill's views. Outstanding. This woodland has really started to open up here now, and yeah, there's definitely options to wild camp. You know, even if it was, you know, pitch up really quite late and leave quite early. But there's trackways going across there, and the biggest and main one, which I seem to have hit, is heading down. I do know I need to go down, but I was rather hoping I would have hit this tramway by now, but I haven't, so let's continue. Well, I seem to have found a sign that states that I am heading towards a footpath. I'm trying to, out of real recognition, to try and find in my head, pull it out of my head, my memory banks, whether that tram line was in the second part of the wood going over this lane, or it should have been in this one. The reason I'm saying, you know, out of the memory banks, as I've descended down in here, I've got no phone signal to actually get out and get the internet back up. I should have saved pictures to my phone, I didn't. The map doesn't show these as much detail as that I do need. It shows footpaths, but I don't need footpaths. I need this old tram line. But It's got an arrow pointing that way. Can I be wrong in following that? Let's find out. And there it is. That's everything you need to know there. Tells you it's not actually a right of way, it's permissive, which means the landowner's allowed you to you know, walk over it. So that comes with its own set of conditions as well. But I'm left in a very remote lane in a pretty remote valley, deciding which way to go. That might not seem a drama, but I do not want to be walking miles and miles out of my way. Just hopping over the hedge here and going down through the woodland might seem like a reasonable, you know, train of thought, but I'll be blatantly honest with you, you can already see trees down, and not too far down it gets a tangled mess. I'm going to have to do a bit of a rethink of what I'm doing here. Now, there is a saying that all plans don't survive the first contact with enemy, and yeah, my plan's totally gone out the window, and I've been walking up and down this little bit of road, scratching my head, looking for divine inspiration, and there it came, in the form of a sty with a sign. So, you know, there has to be something for just wandering around aimlessly. You know, it might just well, set you on the right track. So here it is, and I'm now going to start gaining entrance or gaining access to this actual piece of woodland, and I'm going to push on down further. The same sign as before, and this looks pretty well maintained, this particular track. There's actually granite steps going down here, and oh boy, that is steep. That looks like it's going to be a leg burner going down, never mind coming up. But oh my god, this place does look like, you know, you could set up a tarp almost anywhere. It looks absolutely glorious. Yeah, just look at that. It looks really, really outstanding. You wouldn't have to go too far back in there to be out of the line of sight. And, you know, you could hunker down and have a really nice experience out here in this piece of woodland. Now, I have a sneaky suspicion this gradient is, well, if you look at my legs, I'm actually, you know, counteracting the slope by having one bent. But I've got a feeling this is the old tramway that took all the ore and minerals like tin and copper down to the river and the awaiting ships. But yeah, I think this could actually be what remains of the tramway. I've got some more evidence of mine work in here, and you know, if you ever ended up venturing off the beaten path here, you would have to be really careful. I mean, you know, you don't know where there's mine shafts. They do show up on the map, or what they have mapped, but as I've said, navigating through this piece of woodland is quite difficult. You would have to use like kind of almost like a pacing method, so you knew exactly where you were in relation to the map. But I've got a bit of wet stuff just coming through the leaves. I might actually let you see what I've actually got in this pack to allow me to do this little expedition. Let's call it that. You know, let's not call it just a little random walk in the woods. Let's dress it up and call it an expedition. Why not? No, I don't think this barrier here, or hedge, or, you know, or fence is going to do much to save you going out over. But the track looks like it's zigzagging down through the steeper parts of this valley now. Yeah, I did say it was going to be a leg burner, and I'm already feeling it coming down. You know, some people state going down is worse than coming up, but I've got a funny feeling this is going to make me absolutely squeal like a pig by the time I get back up the top. And it's a little bit overgrown as well. It looks like it levels out down here though. And to reiterate what I just said about, you know, just wandering willy-nilly in here, as you can see, there is actually a kind of brick wall or a kind of stone or masonry wall, and you can see it's all beginning to degrade there. And it kind of gives you all the info you really need. So yeah, always remember to obey all warning signs. So that leaves me with but one option, to follow the path down that way. It does look like there's a path that way, but this looks clearly the one that most people have been taken. If I strain my hearing, I think I can hear a river, but yeah, my hearing is shot. But yeah, so I'm going to continue down this particular path here. There is a building or buildings of some type there, and if you come here, we're obviously standing on top of a tunnel, which would have been, don't want to get too close, an old leat, and you can see the channel the water would have run off down through there. I've just got to show you this little building. It's actually still got a chimney, so if you can see there, it's a small little, I think you'd call it a tiny house these days. It would be quite trendy and in keeping with all the fashionable new age people. But yeah, you come in here, yeah, you can see a fireplace, and you can still see the black where it's been fire scorched, the bricks. Random little buildings in the woods. Well, it's not random. I mean, it was, this place was heavily mined, so there's nothing random about it. It's just that it's fascinating, isn't it? You're walking through woods, and these days anything like this would have been ripped down long ago. But I should imagine all this here in the UK, you've got lots of you've got lots of bodies that look after the environment, old buildings, monuments and things like that. So even if it's falling down, there's still a very good chance it's listed and protected. And there you go, there's a hole in the ground, literally a hole in the ground. You do not want to mess with, and I will say it once more. Mine shafts and you know, and ventilation tunnels into those mine shafts, do not even consider it. They're not safe, they're not stable, and you know, do not put yourself at risk or anybody that may have to come and get you. So stay well away from them. Well, I should imagine a little Cornish pixie or some little goblin type creature or fairy from the woods probably lives in there now. But yeah, that's about as far as we're going to go looking at it. I've got to head back on the track and keep going. Well, I've made it down to the river, and I've got to try and get a bit further down. But this is going to be a little bit tricky. I think this is my ticket down. Take a little bit of care. I say it's because we're in a woodland, a lot of the ground, particularly down here by the river, is quite mossy. So, you know, better nice and slow and safe. But boy, that's really opening up. Well, was this worth coming down to see? It's absolutely, you know, outstanding. I mean, it wouldn't look out of place somewhere in, you know, Canada, Alaska, something like that. It really is beautiful here. These large boulders coming out of the river. It's absolutely, this was worth that struggle down through the track. You can see I've got a sweat over my forehead. Believe me, when I go up, it will be like Niagara Falls coming off it. But oh, I'm loving it here. yeah, so I'm going to take 5 or 10 minutes just to chill here and relax and soak this in. I had no idea that this particular river valley could be this beautiful, and you know, it's absolutely blown me away, took me by surprise. Like I said, this could be anywhere in, you know, other parts of the world, not just here in Cornwall. Totally blown away. So I'm just going to soak it in, and yeah, I'm going to find somewhere then just to grab a drink and chill out. But I want to get back on the track, because as of most situations with me, I'm always at the wrong end of the day, and it won't be long before we start losing light. I'm just watching fish jump down there. Right, I'm back on the footpath, heading up into the woods. If I'm out of breath, it's because this is a serious gradient, and it just goes on and on and on. Yeah, you can see behind me, it's pretty much single track now. You know, there's nothing wide about this. It's like leg width, and basically just keep plodding up through the woods, and eventually get back to my car. Whoa, I tell you what, this has been a workout. Well, that's across the border actually, and that's actually in Devon, and that's a load of old mining works, you know, big mining works back in the day. And as you can see by the size of those slag heaps, they really did dig out some stuff from in underneath those hills. But it's absolutely fantastic views, but it's steep, hard going. And the footpath, as you can see, isn't very wide, and you're having to knock the odd stinging nettle and bramble out the way. Now this track does actually come out at a small village. That's if my memory serves me right. But one thing you have to remember here is, guys, you will see a lot of signs as you go along the track saying private, woodland, no access, da 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 da. But you have to read between the lines. You can't stray into that piece of woodland, but the footpath is a public footpath. So as long as you stick to the footpath through the woods, you're okay. And yeah, so it's a little bit misleading, some of those signs. If you were reading them, you know, quite literally, you know, you would probably turn around and go back. I've gone into a really dark part of the woodlands now. I'm losing light basically, but yeah, you have to. I did scour the maps and everything that I could beforehand to get enough information to know where I was at that point, and that it was a recognised footpath. So I was armed with that knowledge. So, but yeah, this is stunning. As the light fades and goes, boy, you tell me this doesn't just let your imagination run away with you. But my imagination can't get away from the fact that I've got to keep going uphill. So let's get going. So, you know, I'm not wearing shorts. I haven't got a cut-off t-shirt or anything like that. And, you know, there's good reason. I have bashed on about ticks now and again in some of my videos. But I walked back from the school run with the dog, got home, I could feel this really uncomfortable sore swelling on my back. Now there was a lot of horse flies due to the fact there's a load of like sweaty cattle in the hedges as I walk along the lane. And I thought I'd been bit by one of those. My wife had a quick little look, and no, it was a tick. And there's every chance that's been there since my last wild camp, I would say. So, you know what I mean? Always check yourself over, have a look, and what that little itch might be might just be the beginnings of a tick burrowing in. But yeah, it's out now. Let's just hope there's no long-term damage from it. But there's more chance of me getting long-term damage from hiking up this hill. I'm nearly there, I think. And like I said, this should bring me out to a village. And I think it's all hard standing road then. Whew. Alright, let's push this last bit out. And there you go, another one of those mine shafts that I've been talking about. Yep, stay away, folks. They're not deers, they look like alpacas or llamas or something of that nature. But they look like they've been sheared. There's no actual, you know, of their fur on them. So they look pretty weird, actually. I wonder if they're going to come over. That neck just does not seem right on the body shape. Yeah, they're coming over. Let's just say hello. I suppose at a distance you could, you know, almost mistake it for a deer, you know, at a distance. But it's that neck. Yeah, they've been sheared. All their fur's been taken off. And boy, do they look weird. Yeah, he's inquisitive. But his friend has got no interest. Just wants to keep eating. But yeah, let's keep following this footpath. Light is going fast now for me. Now this pathway looks like something from Lord of the Rings now, going through all this. We're actually losing light quite fast here now, and you can probably tell by the quality. But yeah, let's try and find some light. Well, the last little bit of it is on a good road like this, really, behind me. And yeah, I'm thankful for it. As you can see, I've got a fair sweat on. I'll let you have a look on what I actually carry with me when I come out and do these sort of things. But it's not universal. I will put in stuff and adapt it to wherever I'm going, whether that be in the low-lying valleys or on the high moorlands. You know, I'll always adapt it to my terrain, weather conditions, and basically how long I think I'm going to be out. But I did actually let my wife know exactly where I was, as in the rough location, which is something you ought to get in the habit and practice of, because if you were to go missing, at least there's a start point. You may wander off, and I'm terrible at that, but it's a start point. She knows she doesn't have to say, well, just somewhere in North Cornwall. You know what I mean? There is actually a start location. So yeah, I've got probably, I don't know, half a mile to get to the car along these lanes. And once I get in there, I'll let you have a look and see what I've got in my bag. So it's basically just an ordinary haversack. It's one that I come with a load of kids' den and play camping equipment. Nothing fancy, but it's more to the fact, really. I didn't want to lug a rucksack with this weight. You know, it's not a weight enough to warrant a rucksack, and a rucksack will make your back, when it's this humid, sweat out. So if there is no need to carry one, don't. I've got a camo top. Quite simply, if I wanted to disappear off-piste, it would allow me to blend in with the shadows. I got black trousers. With that, you know, it gives me half a chance. A waterproof jacket. I did actually look at the weather forecast and the actual, you know, what the skies were doing, and it kind of looked thundery. So, you know, that really just went in for the weight of it. It's not rainproof, it's showerproof. I've got a litre of juice here. Guilty pleasure. Can of pop. Gloves, torch. Yeah, gloves, torch. Just an old granddad's pocket knife. Nothing flash. And a map and compass. I did say I lost a lot of signal down there, and for a lot of that, yeah, I lost signal. This map will show me where the footpaths are, but it's not detailed, so you know, it will leave you open to a little bit of guesswork, you know, experience and intuition, but at least you will know that you are roughly on a footpath. If you get challenged, you can say, hey look, I thought I was on a footpath. And if any landowners got anything about them, they will just gently point you in the right direction and say, well, no, it's not this side of the hedge, it's that side of the hedge. Thank the person kindly and always be humble, and then make your way onwards again. But yeah, always a map and compass. This area is about, I don't know, 8 to 10 miles away from where I live. I don't frequent it very much. In fact, this is the first time I've been to this location. So yeah, it's a must to carry a map and compass if you're not 100% sure your phone is going to get signal. My bushwhacker hiking stick, quite simply because when I came past here, because I came past here today, that's how I saw it, and I thought, you know, I really want to go and check that out. So yeah, you know, that's what's led me to come and do this. So here I am, and you know, this is what I've got with me. Anything else in my pocket? Yeah, just a set of glasses, another torch, believe it or not, and dog poo bags. I just don't seem to go anywhere without dog poo bags. I'm sure they've got other uses. Well, they have waterproof stuff. But yeah, that's everything that's in my bag. And we'll get into the car now. Well, that was totally fantastic. I mean, what can I say? Fantastic hike, fantastic recce, absolutely beautiful, grade A, you know, beautiful river. You couldn't want for anything more. I mean, that river in itself, just to go and see that, you know, at that particular location, was worth all the effort in its own right. And like I said down there, you could be anywhere in the world rather than just Cornwall. It wouldn't have been out of place in Canada, Alaska, or anywhere like that. It was absolutely gorgeous. And I could have spent a lot longer there, just that I'm losing light. Right then, I think we've got a stick sail tomorrow, and yeah, I'm going to head off home and spend the rest of the time with the family, as my time for the next few weeks is going to be a little bit short. And yeah, this is Andy from Hidden Valley Footpaths. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to catch you guys out on the trail. All the best.